Growing up on the northwest side of Detroit, uh, only child, um, I started to get involved with other people in my neighborhood. Well, let me go back a little bit further. My family, my family, I was introduced to like alcohol, marijuana, but seeing them, being around it in my family, I didn't see anything that was wrong with it. It was
Hmm.
just something that we did.
Sure.
So and it was acceptable, uh, uh, at least by our standards.
Hmm.
Because in my eyes, my family, they were good people.
Sure.
They were good, loving, and caring people. Who just smoked a little marijuana and drank a little alcohol every now and then.
Yeah.
You know,
No, there's no judgment here, man. I got involved
mhm,
with it early as well. I understand.
mhm. Yeah. And so from that point on, I just thought that, that was just a natural part of your day, to
Yeah.
smoke a joint. We smoked joints back in the day. They smoked something totally different today. And,
Yes, they do.
yeah, and, drink. But now the thing about me is that I was doing smoking weed and drinking at an early age, and as a result, first, it was, about having fun and enjoying it. Then over the course of time, it became a habit.
Right.
The progression of the usage started to increase, and then after that, it was like, it just seemed like it was just normal every day. Had to have a joint, had to have something to drink. But as I got older, I started to experiment with harder drugs.
Hmm.
That's usually the next step.
Right.
And I like to say I'm one of the survivors of the crack epidemic.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember there was a time where, they spoke about crack. It was all in the news. They even said it was at the White House. They
Yeah.
even put it all the way to the White House. And crack was, pretty much what was the drug of choice back in the late '80s, the early '90s, all
Mm.
the way through the '90s. And I was stuck in that.
Hmm.
First starting out with snorting powder, then mixing cocaine with marijuana. Then I was smoking with tobacco. Then I ended up smoking it by itself.
Mm.
And I think that really was the beginning of the downfall then,
Okay.
because you know uh, crack cocaine is, to me, it was no other drug like it, and it claimed the drug use, or like I like to refer to it, the addiction took over, and a lot of people that I knew was either going to jail or dying from it.
Hmm.
you know. But as a result, I didn't think that I would die from it. Oh, we think we're too smart and all that and that and the other.
Yeah.
But the truth be told, I was playing Russian roulette with my life,
Hmm.
and coming to believe that a power greater than myself was watching over me the whole time, because I actually had died in my addiction. I arrived over at Sinai Grace
Hmm.
after being being jumped on by six guys at Schoolcraft in Wyoming. Uh, they literally, really went to they beat me to death, and I ended up Sinai Grace, and for some reason I was brought back, and I didn't do it.
All right.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So that let me know that there had to be something outside of myself that did that for me,
Yeah.
because I couldn't do it for myself.
Sure.
Um, and I still didn't stop then, but I started thinking more about what I was doing and how I could stop, and I didn't know how. I didn't
Hmm.
know how I wanted to, and I didn't know how. But as time went on, I got introduced to recovery. Uh, I got introduced to a 12-step program.
Hmm.
Uh, I started seeking recovery. As a result of that, my life started to change. Um, I went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up gaining 3 degrees, uh,
Okay.
associates, a bachelor's, and a master's. Uh, all of them pertaining to social work.
Sure.
Um, yeah, so I'm a social worker. Um,
Congratulations. That's quite an accomplishment where you came from, man.
yes, thank you. And but the whole time that I was going to school, I was always asking, what classes, what can I do to help those who are just like me?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Even today, I'm here today in a place that I work, helping those who are just like me, who suffer from substance use and even deal with mental health
Mm-hmm.
and even deal with the courts and corrections and trying to help them get on the right path, and even coming in on my days off or like when I spoke to you yesterday, I was helping an individual to go to his doctor's appointment because
Mm-hmm.
he needed his medication, and that was after hours. And if we're not making ourselves available when they need us, then who else?
You don't
You
do
know?
any good, man. You got to be there when they need you.
Yeah,
I
so
got you.
we try to help out and do what we can and come in on days that we may not. Well, I do. I
Mm.
come in on days that I'm not that I'm not scheduled. Well, I may stay over and I'm not scheduled. And to tell you quite honestly, it's like a labor of love because a lot of times I'll be doing this stuff, working these extra hours. I don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no compensation, no financial compensation, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a spiritual compensation. You know what I'm saying? You
Absolutely.
give something back. Like those who were before me who gave to me in the hopes that I would get my life together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's why I do it.
And
That's
you
why.
you do this because you've been there, man. You know what they're going through. You can relate to it.
Oh, absolutely. I can
Yeah.
identify with him. Yes. Uh, one of my coworkers, he shares it this way. He say that we have a ministry, and this is part of my ministry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't necessarily always look for the monetary gains. Um, I know that that I'm able to receive much more if I go down that road, and I'm engaged in a lot of different projects and stuff to help me in that, but to help me, but not to interfere in the mission of helping other people. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
not about how much money can I gain. It's about how many people can I help. You know that right there is my thing. If I could just help that one somebody to turn their life around, then by God, my living won't be in vain.